Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers mod showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at another modded weapon, and this one is very big and very impressive. This is the GH-BFG 10,000 from Doom Eternal, a bloody large gun that will wreak havoc wherever you fire it. So we add it in through the mod menu along with the weapons core mod that is listed on the workshop page, and should we just fire it straight away? So just coming all the way over to here, I've got everything set up into my little chair. Now we're just going to take control of it, go into free camera, and then we'll move all the way across, fire it. There is a short delay, and then it will blast out its big beam and destroy anything you're pointing at. There we go, look at that fire. This thing is absolute destruction, just shooting out of there. But it does have a few drawbacks that help balance it. It requires 6 large reactors in order to charge up in a reasonable amount of time. There is quite a hefty delay from pressing the firing button and actually firing the laser out, and there is a fairly long recharge period before you're allowed to fire it once again. You can see on the top right hand of my screen there is a little circle going around next to the name of the gun. Once that fills all the way up, we can then fire it again. Yes, let me just hop out of there for the moment and we'll have a good look at the model. So this is what we get. It is really big, surprisingly big compared to a lot of other weapons. So here's my character. We're just going to stand around here so we don't clip through it. And zooming all the way out. Yeah, this thing is rather big. But we have this right here. We've got ourselves a little walkway that would go inside the gun. We've got our little support pillars coming all the way around the outside with some fantastic work done on the body itself. So going all the way around to here. Then moving up to where the gun is connected on. There it is once again, where we've got our fake little rotors to make it go up and down and spin it all around. And then for the barrel itself, this is what we get. We've got nice glowing white lights on there. It does change colour if you were to, say, change your colour, but it will not copy your skins, unfortunately. We can come like that and have ourselves a nice red gun. So there we go, you can't really see the light on that side, but we can go over to this side and you'll be able to see it more clearly. And it does change the light on it. So coming back over to the dark side, once again, let's just go and switch our colour to the blue and then go like that. There we go, we now have a blue coloured with blue lights on it. Yes, coming back around to where the sun was, this is the barrel of it. We got a lot of detail all the way along it. This must have taken a long time to actually create. And then coming all the way around to the back, there we go, up and above. This is going along the top of the cannon. Let's put the light on next. We are in an awkward place for the sun. And there we go. If we come through the actual barrel itself, where the laser comes out, we can go all the way along over to here, where we have this very weird green, almost pulsating like thing. I think it's trying to reflect out over there. Well, I'm not too sure, but that is what that looks like. It's just underneath the gun. There we go. It's a very nice model, and it would look amazing to have a bunch of these strapped onto your ship. But how much does this cost to spawn in? Well, coming across over to the menu, we have this, and it's going to cost a lot. It's 12,000 computers, 5,000 motors, 6,000 large steel tubes, 5,000 metal grids, 5,250 reactor components, 3,200 superconductors, 10,000 construction components, and 10,000 steel plates. So this thing is ridiculously expensive, but I think it's quite worth it, don't you? Just to have it sitting around your base and looking pretty. But before we test out its destructive capabilities, let me just come all the way down over to my control seat and find the BFG. There we go. So this is what we get in terms of controls. We've got shoot on and off, target neutral, target unknown, focus fire, and subsystems. Then we have pick subsystems, where we can tell it to attack certain stuff on the structure we're trying to destroy. We then got a tracking mode, where it's going to move around mobile or moored. And then we got a control mode, where it's going to be manual, painter, and auto, and then the aiming radius, where we can go to some ridiculous ranges. Look at that, we can go up to 10,000. That is going to be quite destructive. And then of course we've got our stats over here. We've got our DPS, which is 27,000 damage, our base DPS, which is 10,000, We then have area DPS, which is 31,000. And then got explode, current draw. We can see how much power is required, which is 65,741 megawatts. And I will just point out that I am currently in survival mode, and below this platform is 6 large reactors. But yes, we then got information where we're charging false, reloading false, because we're not currently doing anything with it. So what I've done here is spawned in a bunch of heavy armored blocks, 7 layers thick currently, and we're going to see how well it can tank it. So what I'm going to do is now fire it, and once that starts up and fires, we'll then see the damage this thing can cause. So when it's ready, it'll just shoot out, and hopefully it won't damage the cannon itself. And there we go, it is now firing. We've got some fantastic particle effects on there, look at that, absolutely incredible. And we've gone straight through it. It took some time to actually bore a hole through, but it did not stop it. So whatever this thing is going to fire at, it is not going to be able to withstand the blast, because it will eventually go straight through it. So here is the ship that I have chosen. It's the Albatross, because it's always a good target ship, and I seem to have spawned it upside down once again, but never mind. So what I'm going to do is give this to the space pirates, and then allow that to automatically fire at it, and we'll see the destruction it can cause. And there we go, I've now given that to the space pirate. The cannon has now targeted it, and we need to wait for it. There we go, it's now going to start blasting it. Look at it go along, holy shit. I did not expect it to do that. I thought it was just going to shoot a beam straight forwards into it, but it just swiped itself along. Wow. Okay, I've only been testing this thing with small ships, but wow, that was just absolutely impressive. So what I'll do is spawn in a brand new one, place it there upside down once again, and we'll see if we can get a better look at that firing. So bringing the free camera all the way over to here, and then bringing my character to give this to the space pirates, then let it fire once again. In fact, I'll just go sit in here. This should be fine like so. So I've given that to the space pirates. The cannon has now targeted it. Let's just come around to here and wait for the big green beam of death to hit it. There we go, wow! And it just swipes all the way along to hit all the important internals, absolutely crippling my frame rate. The weird pulsing effects, the particle effects that all come flying off it is absolutely incredible. Fantastic stuff. I don't think there's really anything else for me to explain about this cannon other than go download it and play around with it yourself. That is just some incredible damage coming out of there. But the question is, if I was to come over to here and clean this up, so let's just come and delete you, will it be able to differentiate between a friendly target and an enemy? So bringing back, we're going to need to spawn in a brand new Albatross. There we go. So we're going to have an Albatross here, and I'm going to put it on its side. So we're going to have this fairly close. I'm going to have an Albatross here, and then I'm going to spawn in a new Albatross right behind it, like so. The front one is going to be friendly, and the back one is going to be an enemy. Will that avoid shooting so it doesn't destroy the friendly target? Let's just come over to here and find a control panel, make sure I'm selecting the right one. So we'll come around over to here, that'll do nicely. There we go, we'll just give everything to the space pirates, yes, and then we'll come across over to here. So the cannon has now targeted it, hopefully, but I'm not sure if it's going to actually shoot it or not. Enough time has passed, but nothing is happening. So I'm wondering if I will get into my character and fly across over to the friendly Albatross. Let's just come and sit a cockpit over here and just fly it forwards. I wonder if it would just snap onto the target and then try and attack it. Alright, so here we go. I'm just going to move the Albatross forwards and let's see what happens with the cannon. So I've now cleared the area. The cannon has targeted the enemy Albatross and is now going to fire. But what I'm going to do is a cheeky reverse and see if I can just pull myself back into the cannon. But I don't think that's going to happen. So it didn't exactly work like I was thinking. It just simply stopped firing because it's ran out of things to target. But yes, that is quite an interesting thing, that it will try and save a friendly, from getting destroyed if an enemy is sitting behind it, which is a very nice thing to have when you have such a destructive cannon. So the only thing I can think of doing is... oh, what's going on here? I have no idea what's going on. It's just randomly started to fire. And there's a second one here because we're going to do something rather silly to finish off this video. Yes, now he's finished and that's now gone back to neutral. Probably means they're done for the day of shooting up the Albatross. So just to go over one thing before I forget it, we do have a few controls for your hotbar. So we can just drag this down here. We've got our usual shoot on off, our control, conveyor, toggle, click to fire, neutrals on and off, maximum size and minimum size increase and decrease, which is going to be for the explosion radius and the range, targeting projectiles, meteors, and all that. So there we go, that's what we get when we try to add it on the hotbar. And if we were to manually control it, unfortunately it is a little bit bugged and half the screen gets covered up and there's not much you can do about that. So with that all done and out of the way, I believe I covered everything, the cost, the looks, and what it can do. So I'm going to set these two against each other. I'm going to come across over to here, make sure you're all fully charged up. Yes, you are. And now we're going to give everything to the Space Pirates. And there we go. So now you've been given to the Space Pirates. Hopefully... please turn round. You're supposed to be attacking each other. Oh dear. Well, it looks like it's going to be a very one-sided fight, because that cannon over there has refused to fire. And there we go. Oh my god, the frame rate. What has happened here? So the cannon is trying to destroy it. Look at that go. Just a constant beam on there. A lot of particle effect. I feel like I'm going at maybe 17 frames per second. And there we go. We're now back to 60. Hopefully it hasn't desynced the whole video. But this is still alive. This is still very much alive. So if we come over with my welding tool, all the way over, because it's going to start firing once again. That only did 15% damage, destroying majority of the steel blocks on this thing. So there we go. Now that is a very, very interesting thing. So if you have a cannon versus cannon, it's going to take quite some time before they actually destroy each other because of their sheer health pool, which makes this an instant target whenever you come across one in battle, because you know you have to destroy this thing. Otherwise, it's going to be staying up for quite some time because it's going to survive a lot of bombardments. So there we go. But yes, that is it for the GH-BFG 10,000. If you wish to download and play around with it yourself, there'll be a link to it in the description below. I recommend you do play around with it because it is a lot of fun to see it destroy large ships. And I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.